Every video I do starts with me just staring at the camera and not saying anything at all. Why do you train? That's a question that you should ask yourself the day you start your journey. But hopefully it's something that you ask yourself repeatedly throughout the course of your journey. So let's talk about why that impacts your training. So let's talk about context. It's really important to spend time thinking about why you do the things you do and why you chose the things you chose and why you follow the path that you follow. Context sets everything. If you aren't measuring what you're doing against what you hope to gain, then you're probably off base. You're probably off track. Because without that context, without that idea, without that goal in mind, what do you measure against? How do you measure your success? How do you measure the progress that you're making? You've got to have something that sets the bar for you. Now, what your context is, 100% your own. There's nothing about it that says it has to be one thing or another or any particular method. The only person who can define context for you is you. People will try to define context for you. People will try to say, this is why you should do this. This is what you should do. You should be doing this. You need to focus on these things. That's all well and good. Hopefully they have your best interest in mind. And you have to trust that they do, but that's something that you should spend time reevaluating is, do they? By all means, don't necessarily run away if they don't, but talk to them and see. So if your instructor's pushing you one way and you're trying to go another way, maybe they just don't understand the direction that you're trying to go. Instead of just going somewhere else, I do believe you should talk to people first. Give everybody the benefit of the doubt to have the conversation and to see if you can get on the same page, because relationships are built through communication. And that includes the student-instructor relationship. If you have a direction you want to go, if you have a plan that you want to attack, right, then you should communicate that. Now, if the instructor is not heading the way you are, doesn't really want to help you get there, and is continuing to try to push you away from that, you've got to make a choice. You've got to decide if this is the right path for you. It's really important that you have a clear idea in mind, the direction you want to go, what you want to get out of your training, hopefully at least to some degree how you want to get there. One thing I'm a really big fan of is the term sensei. In Japanese, translated, that comes out to essentially mean one who was born before or one who has gone before. So born before possibly meaning older, but you know what? I certainly have students that are older than I am. So while that can be a translation of it, I tend to lean more towards the second, one who's gone before, one who is further down the path you're trying to go. Okay, so we loop it back in. Context of this episode is the idea of trying to get somewhere. So if your goal is to get somewhere specific, take competition for example. If your goal is to move forward in competition, to do well, to be successful, then you need to find somebody who's further down the path of competition than you are, so they can show you those pitfalls. They can share with you what they've learned. They can take you through the things that you need to go through. They can help you understand the process and the parts and how it all comes together. That's not the only person who can help you do that. Any level of competition, but especially at the higher level, one of the things that becomes really important is the idea of working with somebody who has maybe not even competitive knowledge, a very specific knowledge of something you're trying to do. So maybe you have a specific method or technique that you're trying to accomplish because it fills a hole in what you have. Then finding somebody who is further down that path for that thing, while they might not have the overall competitive focus you're looking for, they may have the ability to help you round out that place that you're weak and help you put it together. Certainly would still recommend that the main person in charge of helping you has actual competitive knowledge, knows how it all ties together, and can continue to guide you that way. But competition's not the only focus. It's not mine personally. I personally come from a practical, pragmatic approach of how do I defend myself as a civilian, non-military, non-law enforcement. How do I just defend myself personally and the people I care about? And what are the tools and things that I need to accomplish that goal? So I have definition. I have definition in the direction that I'm going, and I have something I can measure the things that I'm doing against. When I look through what I'm working on, when I look through where I want to go, I can measure it against, is this getting me closer to my goal? Is training in this method helping me become better at that? Or is it veering off? Maybe I enjoy it, the thing that I'm doing, but it's not actually helping me get closer to my goal. goal? Is it necessary? Is it relevant? Should I be spending my time? Time's the only commodity I have. Should I be spending my time chasing something that's actually moving away from my goal? And that's something you've got to ask yourself. That's something you've got to define for yourself. If you're military, then is looking at something that's honed specifically for civilians matching what you're trying to do? All of these things are going to overlap in application, in their ability to apply somewhere. But that doesn't mean that that is the best way to spend the time that you're having. So say you're in a military context and your goal is to learn to perform as a team, to operate as a team, and to solve things together with a team of people. Rely on that team and function together. Then learning solo methods that rely specifically on you not having a team, while they are going to have some things that are functional for you, is not helping you be a better team. So wrong context. If my goal is to protect myself and protect the people I care about, then competition is not necessarily the direction I should go. If my goal is to be a high-level competitor, then working on things that would be illegal in the rule set that I plan on functioning in is not a good way to spend my time. You get where I'm going with this? None of these things are wrong on their own, but each of them rely on you understanding the context and moving towards what's important to you. And you can combine, you can do multiple things, but at the end of the day, do you want to be really good at one thing or kind of good at multiple things? Again, neither of those answers is wrong. You can want to be really good at one thing, and that's fine. You can want to be kind of good at multiple things, at many things. You can want to be pretty good at a couple things. All of these are choices, and all of them are available to you. Each one has opportunity, and each one is something that you can chase if you want to. Is it the right direction? So revisit that often. The direction you're going may change over time. As you continue to train, as you travel through your life, as things in your life change, as things in your training change, as the goals in your life change, then you got to reevaluate. You got to spend time looking again. Why do I train? What's my goal? One thing you got to ask yourself in the case, so say for example, your goal is to survive and get home safe. So the training that you do, your whole function is I want to learn how to survive and get home safe. That's my goal. And if I'm in a bad situation, that's my goal. Having defined that goal ahead of time helps you make decisions. Under pressure, that becomes really important. If your goal is to survive and get home safe, then getting away from somebody or getting out of a situation and everything doesn't seem too hard. Now say you're standing at the gas station and it's being held up. You're not the one holding it up. You're not the one at the other side of the counter. So do you get involved? Well, refer to your goal. If your goal is to survive and get home safe, is any part of getting involved helping you survive or helping you get home safe? The truth is no. You're increasing the risk that you could be injured or worse. You're limiting your ability to leave, right? You're increasing all these things. Now, if your goal is to protect others, then maybe getting involved is immediately what you want to do, right? You see how that decision is really important. Does it match my goal? Would you feel like shit leaving somebody to have to fend for themselves when someone's doing that? Totally, I would. But at the end of the day, if my goal is get away safely and there's nobody between me and the door, then maybe I get away safely and then call the cops or do something. If my goal is to act when I see something bad happen, then it's a different situation. Then maybe I bring something to this situation and try to help change it. If I'm law enforcement, I may have different obligations and different things that go along with that. If I've got a family, right? Look at the idea of escape. Just get home safe. Well, now say I've got my wife, kids, whatever with me. If I just take off and run, what about them? Do I just leave them? All these things are decisions you have to make. But at the end of the day, your goal helps you make those decisions. Having a goal, thinking about it ahead of time helps you decide. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what that goal is. There's only one person it matters to, and that's you. You have to decide, what do I want to accomplish? And you need to be confident that that is something that is worth something to you, because there are people that are going to not agree with you and feel differently about the idea of going after that particular goal. So decide for yourself, because if your goal is that, then forget those haters. Forget those people that don't want to see you succeed. Maybe not because they don't want you to succeed, but because they don't believe in the thing you're trying to succeed at. It's not their choice. It's your choice. So decide. And then just make sure that all of the things that you're doing are helping you get there. And if you're sitting there going, hey, I just want to be healthy and I don't actually care if I get better at this. I just want to become healthy. I just want to have fun. Go have fun. If these same decisions are going to help you decide if you're in the right place. If you're training with somebody who is actively working against the things you're trying to do, then they could be great. They could be a great person, someone that you really want to spend part of your life with, but maybe you don't train with them just because the goal's not there. The context isn't there. They're working away from where you're trying to go. Find the people that are. Go that direction. That's important. At the end of the day, the only person that's going to get you where you're going is you. And you just have to choose to surround yourself with the people that are going to help you get there. And you're going to have to choose to surround yourself with the opportunities and the challenges both that will help get you there. So that's all for today. I'm kind of thinking I want to revisit this again later. This one continues to come back to me as really, really important. I think there's more to say on this topic, but I wanted to kind of keep this short. So that's it for now. I think there's a lot more to say on this topic. We'll see more of this in the future. I think it's time to think about it. Drop some things in the comments, and if you've got thoughts and things, maybe I'm missing something, you want to talk about it, hit me up on that so that maybe in the next one I can address those things. Evaluate, ask yourself, why do I train? And ask yourself again and again over time so that you make sure you're going the right direction. And if you have a 180, one day it was this and now it's that, who cares? That's up to you. You can change. You have the freedom to change. But continuing to ask yourself is going to make sure that you're on the right track for whatever the new goal is, right? That's all I got. Challenge yourself. Continue to evaluate the context of what you're doing. Make sure your challenges are in line. Make sure the people that you're surrounding you with are heading the direction you're going. You're going to do great. Keep training, work hard, and you'll get there. That's it for now. Like, subscribe, share this thing around if you like what you saw, and we'll get back together another time. See you. Hey guys, hands. What do I do with my hands?